Hello everyone, today I am going to talk about the latest Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 gameplay reveal and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 beta version. So let's get started. Activision and Infinity Ward have today revealed the first gameplay footage from this year's upcoming release of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. The trailer in question highlights the campaign of the game and gives us a taste of where the story of Modern Warfare 2 will be going this time around. And while the footage that we see in this video on its own is notable, Activision has also confirmed some other big pieces of information about the game prior to its launch this year. As mentioned, this first trailer for Modern Warfare 2 primarily centers around the game's single-player campaign. The story of this sequel to 2019's Modern Warfare will center around the members of Task Force 141, which includes iconic characters like Captain Price, Soap, Gaz, and Ghost, as seen in the video, which features music from Metallica's Wherever I May Roam. Task Force 141 seems to be on an explosive, globe-trotting journey in Modern Warfare 2 that seems to be going to some drastically different places than its predecessor. Outside of showing off what Modern Warfare 2 will actually play like, Activision and Infinity Ward have revealed that the game will be holding an open beta at some point prior to the title's launch this fall, as we've come to expect from past Call of Duty titles. This beta will happen first on PlayStation platforms before coming elsewhere. And speaking of other platforms, it was also announced today that Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 will be releasing via Steam on PC this year. This is something that Valve itself teased roughly a week ago. So to see that this news is now official should please a number of fans. Outside of releasing on Steam, Modern Warfare 2 will also be coming to Battle.net on PC as well. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 looks awesome. That's the simplest way I can convey what I've seen of the highly anticipated shooter after getting an extended look at the game in a recent trip to Infinity Ward. In a lot of ways, it might be easy to write off Modern Warfare 2 as just another entry in the ever-expanding world of Call of Duty. And while there might be some truth to that, it seems clear that Infinity Ward is really trying to use this reboot of Modern Warfare 2 as a launching pad for what Call of Duty will become in the future while still keeping intact elements of the original 2009 installment. Much of what Infinity Ward showed me of Modern Warfare 2 in my visit to the studio centered around the game's campaign, which seems to be taking a drastic leap forward compared to the 2019 Modern Warfare. The story picks up 3 years after the last installment, with Task Force 141 taking on a number of different covert operations around the globe. Captain Price, Ghost, Soap, Gaz, and a number of other new and returning faces are front and center in Modern Warfare 2. Although the entirety of Task Force 141 isn't always focusing on the same mission. This is the aspect of this new version of Modern Warfare 2 that reminded me the most of the original 2009 release. That game was constantly changing up landscapes, gameplay mechanics, and mission objectives from one level to the next, which led to it being a thrill ride from start to finish. Based on the handful of missions that I've already seen from the rebooted Modern Warfare 2, it very much seems like the game is looking to emulate a big-budget summer blockbuster. To better paint the picture of what I have seen of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 already, the first mission I was shown centered around a crashed helicopter that took place entirely at night, which meant night vision goggles were used throughout. The next level then shook things up drastically and saw Gaz and Price swimming in a harbor looking to stealthily take down enemies by either dragging them underwater to drown or shooting them from underneath the water's surface. While these two aforementioned missions were the ones that I saw the most of, Infinity Ward then gave me a better idea of some of the bigger set-piece moments that will be seen throughout Modern Warfare 2, without trying to spoil too much. One of these levels saw Task Force 141 scaling the side of a skyscraper and doing battle with enemies that stood inside the building, while another featured a somewhat on-rails driving sequence that allowed players to jump from one car to another as part of a massive convoy. This latter level looked more like something that you'd see out of an Uncharted game rather than Call of Duty, but it also looked like a ton of fun to play. Again, it's this diversity from one mission to the next in Modern Warfare 2 that excited me the most out of everything I saw in relation to the campaign. Even though I enjoyed 2019's Modern Warfare, that game was largely pretty isolated to a couple of different regions, which led to it feeling a bit samey as it went on. Modern Warfare 2 seems like it's going to launch you into some wildly different parts of the world as often as it can, which has me that much more interested in seeing how it develops. Throughout all of the different levels that I was shown, one thing that greatly stood out to me about Modern Warfare 2 is just how good it looks. Even though Black Ops Cold War and Vanguard both appeared on current-gen platforms, neither felt like they had really taken that next-gen leap. That doesn't seem to be the case here with Modern Warfare 2 at all. The game's lighting, in particular, looks extremely realistic, especially during some of the underwater swimming portions that I mentioned previously. Despite being pleased to see this visual leap that Modern Warfare 2 is undergoing, It makes me a bit concerned to see how the game might look on older platforms, outside of the campaign and general engine upgrades that Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 will be getting. Infinity Ward has a lot in store for multiplayer and Spec Ops. Multiplayer is something that the developers at Infinity Ward told me quite a bit about and highlighted some of the new gadgets and maps that will be in the game. It was also emphasized that anti-cheat software will be featured in Modern Warfare 2 right away at launch, which is great to hear given how polluted Warzone specifically has become. Speaking of Warzone, Infinity Ward also briefly touched on what it's for now calling Warzone 2.0. which will be a completely new version of the Battle Royale shooter. There's still nothing that I know about Warzone 2.0 at this point in time because Infinity Ward didn't show me anything from it. But the thing that stood out to me the most is that this game is very much being planned to live alongside Modern Warfare 2. In fact, Modern Warfare 2 is essentially being used as the base for an entirely new generation of Call of Duty that Activision is about to usher in. Not only will Warzone 2.0 be launching alongside Modern Warfare 2 at some point later in 2022, but all Call of Duty developers are now going to be sharing the same engine and assets with one another moving forward, even though this is technically a follow-up to another game. Modern Warfare 2 really seems like it's Activision's way of hitting the reset button and creating a new era for the series from this point onward. On a personal level, Modern Warfare 2 is the most excited I have been about a Call of Duty game in years. While I used to play these games constantly when I was younger, my enjoyment of Call of Duty has started to dwindle a bit in recent history, based on what I have seen of Modern Warfare 2 to this point, though. It looks like Infinity Ward is rediscovering some of that special sauce that made the series so beloved in the first place well over a decade ago. Assuming that there aren't any major issues at launch, Modern Warfare 2 is poised to be really special and might be one of the best entries that the Call of Duty franchise has seen in a long time. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 will have a beta before launch, and we have some of the first details on how to participate. It's pretty much tradition at this point to expect a beta for every Call of Duty game. We get the big campaign reveal, then a multiplayer event, which quickly leads into a small multiplayer alpha before expanding into a larger beta across all platforms. And then the game releases. That's the cycle, and we rinse and repeat every year. But there have been changes over the years as Activision eventually stopped allowing physical retailers to offer beta codes for pre-ordering. Nevertheless, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 will have a beta later this year. The beta will be available first to PlayStation players who pre-order, before opening up to all PlayStation players. The beta will then encompass all PlayStation players with those who pre-ordered on all platforms before finally opening up to everyone, regardless of pre-orders. The game is already available to pre-order on digital storefronts and at physical retailers, so the beta will be very accessible to everyone. As of right now, there's no hard date for when the beta will begin, but it's likely it'll fall around late August or early September, as is tradition for the series. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 will start at $69.99 on all platforms, something that has become a recent trend with newer games. This was previously reserved for current-gen versions of games, but it seems Activision will be bundling both the current and last-gen versions together, making it a more premium package for those that are looking to upgrade their consoles within the next year or two. This will likely be useful, even if it costs a bit more than usual. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 will release on Xbox One, Xbox Series X, S, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and PC via Steam and Battle.net on October 28. So I will finish this video today. Leave your comments below. See you soon in another new video.
Mexican Special Forces, 141, they are your brothers now!